Now, the president is in California today. He's mostly in fundraisers, but he responded to what he called the good news of the California exchange, the health insurance exchange called Covered California. Peter Lee is the director of the exchange, which is going to be implementing Obamacare in California. And the president praised that effort today in this speech.
Part of what's happening across the country is, in some cases, for example, employers may be shifting more costs through higher premiums or higher deductibles or higher copays. And so there may still be folks who are out there feeling increased costs, not because of the Affordable Care Act, but because those costs are being passed on to workers or insurance companies. In some cases, even with these laws in place, are still jacking up prices unnecessarily.
And the president went on to praise California as being one of those states that's going to be implementing all these wonderful things. In fact, Peter Lee came out a couple of weeks ago and he said, look, the rates would range from 2% above today's rates to 29% below today's insurance premium rates as soon as Obamacare gets implemented on January 1 of next year. A lot of people are taking that number on, including our next guest who's joining us here in studio. Craig Gussin is the president of the San Diego Association of Health Underwriters. And how many years have you spent in this business?
Oh, many, over 25.
Over 25 in this business. How did you react when Peter Lee said, look, this is a great program coming up. It's only going to be, for some people, maybe 2% above, but 29% below. That's the range. Current insurance rates for individuals to buy insurance, and that's the blessing of Obamacare.
I was shocked by it until I saw the rates. And then when I saw the rates, I realized, well, what they're doing is the younger people are gonna subsidize the older people. And as I was telling you before, I just wrote a girl who's 25 a $4,500 deductible plan. It was $84 a month. That plan, come January, is $130 a month, and it's a $6,400 deductible.
That doesn't sound like a reduction to me.
It isn't at all.
I'm not swift on math, but
No.
that sounded like a higher premium.
It's much higher.
For a higher deductible.
Yes. So, unfortunately, every person who has an individual plan in California is going to have a rate increase and have changed a plan January 1st. No question about it.
And that violates two promises that were made.
Right.
One promise was made, we're going to cut the cost, and the president's still saying it. The other promise that was made was that you could keep the doctor, keep the plan,
Yes.
keep the plan of your choice. That isn't going to happen either. Why?
It can't happen because the government came out with what the rules are for every state on the plans you can offer and what they look like, with some variance on each state. And Covered California basically is pretty close to it. And Covered California is stuck. They can only offer these plans with some small variances to make sure it works. And you know, you look at the Silver plan has a 2,000.
And let's explain that. There's four
four plans. There's the Platinum, which has no deductible. The Gold has no deductible. The Silver has a 2,000 deductible, and the Bronze has a 5,000 deductible. Well, when you start looking at those, not many people are going to buy the Platinum and Gold because the rates are going to be outrageous. So you're going to start looking at the Silver and Bronze, and when you compare the rate that they gave so far, which is only the 25-year-old and 40-year-old rates, and they only gave it for certain plans. Even though they're all Covered California has all the rates on their side, they've only posted rates for 25-year-old for the catastrophic plan and for the Bronze plan, and for a 40-year-old, the Silver and the Bronze plan. And when I compared those to what you can buy today, they're totally different. And what they're doing, and what the numbers you talked about, was they're comparing group health insurance rates today, which are guaranteed issue,
and are lower.
That are lower, not comparing individual rates that you can buy today that are much lower. So they're comparing apples and oranges.
Wait a minute, let's go back over that. So Peter Lee came to this, and he bragged about this.
Right.
It's only going to be 2% above to 29% below.
Above
That's the
group
range.
insurance rates.
But it was group, not individual.
Exactly.
Well,
So
that's a fraud.
well, what he's saying is group insurance rates today are guaranteed issue.
Yeah.
So if you have a group, you and me, we own a business, we can get group insurance. We have to take us regardless of our health history or anything else. Well, come
So
January,
pre-existing condition doesn't matter.
Exactly.
If you're employed by a place that has a group policy, then you get covered.
Exactly. However, 85% of the people in San Diego County can buy health insurance today and get approved. So we're only talking about 15% of the population that we're really going to be affected by this change. So you're comparing group insurance rates which are much higher than individual rates,
Yeah.
to the California exchange. So you're really not comparing the
So
same
the exchange
thing.
looked pretty good when it was
Right.
compared to this must-issue group thing,
Exactly.
but not compared to today's market rates for individuals.
Oh, not even close. Especially for anybody under 40 or 45, your rates are going to skyrocket. People 55, 60 probably won't see a big rate increase, maybe might even have a decrease. But again, they're so boxed in on the plans they can offer, there's not going to be a lot of choices. Today, I can offer you, Roger, 150 different individual plans today. Come January 1st, there might be 10 or 15.
Wow. So the choice is reduced, the price is going up, but the coverage is greater.
In some situations, yes, or in some situations, you're going to have a much higher maximum out of pocket if you have a major claim.
Because of that deductible.
Exactly, and the maximum out of pocket for the silver and bronze plan is $6,400, and for the platinum plan, it's only $5,400, I think it is.
Now
$5,400.
the president just accused employers of raising the copay, raising that deductible
Right.
in their group plans. Is that what's going on? In your practice, what's going on with your?
In my practice, what's going on is very simple. The client, the employer, looks at it and says, what are my options? And I'm saying, here are the plans available. So they have to raise rates, raise the deductible to keep the costs down.
Yep.
I met with a client yesterday, they had a 25% rate increase on a two-person group, and no matter where I looked, I couldn't find them a lower cost plan. And she said—
Is that going to improve after January 1
no,
for them?
it'll be worse.
Why?
First of all,
We only have 30 seconds.
Okay, we have a health insurance tax. What no one gets is that everybody's having a rate increase January 1 of at least $5.25 per person, probably closer to $20
A month?
a month. So a family of four is going to pay $60 a month
just the
more.
tax.
That's just a tax that the government imposed on the insurance companies.
Wow.
That's dwindling down to the consumer.
Wow.
So everybody's having a rate increase. You can't keep your plan, and that's just the way it is.
Craig, that's not good news on a
No.
Friday, but it's the real thing coming up on Obamacare. Thanks for being here.